The invitation to my MBA graduation from Harvard Business School sat untouched on our family's kitchen counter. Meanwhile, the entire house was covered in wedding magazines, sample floral arrangements, and color swatches for my sister Sarah's perfect day. "Emma dear," Mom called out, barely glancing up from her wedding planner, "about your graduation next weekend." I already knew what was coming. I'd heard that tone before, when they missed my undergraduate graduation for Sarah's engagement party, my company launch for her bridal shower, and my first investor meeting for her dress fitting. "We've had a slight scheduling conflict," she continued, arranging peonies that cost more than my first startup's initial funding. Sarah's wedding venue had a cancellation for next Saturday, and it's perfect, the Victorian Gardens. We had to take it. "My graduation is next Saturday," I said quietly, though they'd known the date for months. "Well, yes, but darling," Mom waved her hand dismissively, "you can always get your diploma in the mail. This is your sister's wedding. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event." Dad walked in, checking his Rolex, a gift from Sarah's fiancé, who just made junior partner at his law firm. "Emma, be reasonable. Your sister needs us there. It's just a graduation ceremony. Just a graduation ceremony. Just like it was just a small business when I started my first company. Just like it was just playing with computers when I developed my first financial algorithm." "Fine," I replied, checking my phone as another alert came in. My banking algorithm had just processed another trillion-dollar day of transactions. Not that they knew about that. "I understand. That's my practical girl," Mom beamed, missing the irony completely. "Now about the loan for the wedding venue." "Still waiting on the bank," Dad sighed. "They're being difficult about extending our mortgage." I bit back a smile. The bank wasn't being difficult. I owned it, along with most of the major financial institutions in the country. But they wouldn't know that until exactly 9 a.m. tomorrow, right when they were meeting with the bank manager. "I'm sure it will work out," I said, watching another alert flash across my phone. My company, Phoenix Financial, had just acquired its 15th bank this month. Banks can be unpredictable. Sarah breezed in, wearing designer labels she couldn't afford, funded by our parents' dwindling savings. "Emmy, you're not still upset about the graduation thing, are you? I mean, it's just a ceremony. It's not like you're doing anything important with that degree anyway." If she only knew that unimportant degree had helped me build the largest financial technology company in the world. That while she was planning her perfect wedding, I was revolutionizing global banking. "No, Sarah. I'm not upset." "Good." She clapped her hands. "Because I need to borrow money for the honeymoon. Daddy's credit cards are all maxed out from the venue deposits." Dad looked embarrassed. "Princess, maybe we should scale back a little." "Scale back?" Sarah's voice rose. "On my perfect day? Daddy, you promised. We can just get another loan." My phone buzzed again. The bank manager's message. "Ms. Parker, the acquisition is complete. Their mortgage papers are ready for your review." I smiled, watching my family fret over wedding costs they couldn't afford, not knowing that their entire financial future was already in my hands. "I should go," I said, standing up. "I have a meeting." "A meeting?" Mom looked confused. "With your little internet company?" That little internet company had just processed more money in the past minute than their bank had handled all year. But tomorrow would be soon enough for them to learn that. "Something like that," I replied, heading for the door. "Oh, and Mom? About that bank meeting tomorrow? Don't be late. It's going to be interesting." They had no idea just how interesting it would be when they discovered exactly what their practical daughter had built while they were planning the perfect wedding. Because tomorrow at exactly 9 a.m., they'd learn that the daughter whose graduation they were skipping wasn't just attending the meeting. She owned the bank. The next morning dawned bright and crisp, perfect weather for shattering illusions. I sat in my real office, the entire top floor of what used to be First National Bank's headquarters, now Phoenix Financial's global command center, watching multiple screens track my family's movements. "Ms. Parker," my executive assistant Michael approached, "your parents and sister just arrived at the local branch. They're being escorted to the conference room now." I smiled, observing through the security feeds as my family entered the bank, dressed in their idea of wealthy attire. Mom wearing her prized Gucci bag, fake though she didn't know I could tell, Dad in his only designer suit, and Sarah in another outfit she couldn't afford. Let's make them wait 10 minutes, I instructed. And activate the smart glass in the conference room. I want to see their faces when the screens come on. The conference room they'd been led to wasn't just any meeting space. It was a state-of-the-art presentation chamber I'd had installed in every Phoenix financial branch, specifically for moments like this. Their mortgage application is pulled up, Michael reported, along with their complete financial history. Would you like me to display their credit card debt as well? Everything, I confirmed. It's time they saw their true financial picture. Through the feeds, I watched them fidget in the plush chairs, completely unaware that their daughter could see their every move. Sarah was complaining about the wait, Mom was trying to appear sophisticated, and Dad was nervously adjusting his tie. The branch manager is ready, Michael announced. Should I give him the signal? I nodded, straightening my Chanel suit, a real one worth more than their mortgage. Start the show. The conference room's walls suddenly transformed into massive displays, making my family jump. Their financial data began scrolling across every surface, every maxed-out credit card, every missed payment, every desperate attempt to fund Sarah's excessive wedding. Good morning, the branch manager's voice carried through my speakers. I apologize for the wait. We needed to confirm some details with the owner. The owner? Dad looked confused. Of the bank. Yes, Mr. Parker. She's very interested in your case. Mom brightened. Oh. Well, we're very good customers. We've been with First National for 30 years. Actually, the manager corrected, this isn't First National anymore. This is Phoenix Financial. The acquisition was completed last night. Sarah rolled her eyes. Whatever. About our loan application. The screens shifted, now showing Phoenix Financial's global holdings, hundreds of banks, financial institutions, and technology companies worldwide. Your loan application has been reviewed at the highest level, the manager continued. The owner herself looked at it. Dad straightened. The owner of the bank reviewed our application personally? Yes. In fact. The manager checked his watch. She should be joining us any moment. The screens changed again, this time showing my company's latest achievement. Phoenix Financial revolutionizes global banking. World's youngest female banking CEO creates new financial order. That's impossible, Sarah scoffed, pointing at my corporate headshot on the screen. That's just Emma in a fancy suit. Mom's fake Gucci bag slipped from her fingers. Emma. The door opened and I walked in, enjoying the absolute shock on their faces. Hello, family. Sorry I'm late. Running a global financial empire takes time. Dad's mouth opened and closed without sound. Sarah's perfectly manicured hand flew to her throat. You own the bank? Mom whispered. Banks, plural, I corrected, taking my seat at the head of the table. Phoenix Financial now controls 40% of the world's banking infrastructure, including every institution you've been begging for loans. The screens displayed my company's current valuation, a number that made Sarah's expensive wedding look like pocket change. But you run a small internet company, Dad stammered. No, Dad. I built the largest financial technology company in history. Those computer games you mocked? They now process 70% of global transactions. That waste of time degree you're skipping? It helped me revolutionize international banking. Michael entered with more tablets, displaying Phoenix's complete holdings. Ms. Parker, the Federal Reserve Chairman, is on line 1. They want to discuss the new digital currency platform. Mom's face went pale. The Federal Reserve. His mom. While you were planning Sarah's perfect day, I was rebuilding the global financial system. Speaking of perfect days, I pulled up their wedding venue's finances. The Victorian Gardens? I own it, along with every other luxury venue in the country. Sarah's perfect makeup couldn't hide her shock. You own everything you're trying to afford, I finished for her. The venue, the catering company, even that overpriced dress designer you love. They're all Phoenix subsidiaries now. The screens showed more acquisitions, luxury brands, hotel chains, financial institutions, all under the Phoenix umbrella. Your mortgage application, I continued, pulling up their desperate financial situation, was denied by every bank in the country. Want to know why? Because I flagged your accounts months ago. Every loan, every credit card, every financial move you've made has been monitored by my systems. Dad's hands trembled. Emma, princess, we never knew. Exactly, Dad. You never knew because you never cared to know. Too busy funding Sarah's dreams to notice I was building an empire. The conference room air grew thick with tension as my family struggled to process their new reality. But I wasn't done, not even close. The real revelations were just beginning. Ms. Parker, Michael announced, the Wall Street trading floor is ready for your morning briefing. Shall I display it here? Please do, I nodded, watching my family's faces as the screens transformed into a live feed of the New York Stock Exchange. Hundreds of traders stood at attention, waiting for my daily instructions. Good morning, traders, I addressed them, enjoying Mom's sharp intake of breath as she watched global markets hang on her overlooked daughter's every word. Execute Protocol Delta on the Asian markets. And begin acquisition of European Union's central banking system. Yes, Ms. Parker, hundreds of voices responded in unison. Sarah, trying to salvage something from this situation, spoke up. Well, since you're so successful now, you can help pay for my wedding. I laughed softly. Sarah, I could buy every wedding venue in the country with what Phoenix makes in an hour. But that's not the point. I pulled up more financial data. Let's talk about your spending habits. The screens filled with Sarah's credit card statements, every extravagant purchase, every maxed-out card, every desperate attempt to maintain her facade of wealth. Your wedding dress? I continued. The one you put on Dad's last working credit card? I own the company that makes them. That exclusive boutique? A Phoenix subsidiary. Even the payment processor they use. My technology. Mom's hands clutched her fake designer bag tighter. Emma, darling, we never meant to. To what, Mom? Dismiss me? Ignore my achievements? Skip my graduation for another of Sarah's expensive whims? I pressed a button and the screens showed more global holdings. While you were all focusing on Sarah's perfect day, I was building something unprecedented. Michael approached with another tablet. The President's Economic Council is waiting, Ms. Parker. They need your approval on the new global financial framework. Dad's face went ashen. The President. Stat. That waste of time degree you're missing? It helped me design a new global economic system. One that every major government is now adopting. The screens shifted again, showing Phoenix's latest innovations. Quantum encrypted banking, AI-driven financial analysis, and digital currency platforms that made traditional banking obsolete. Your mortgage. I continued, pulling up their home loan details. I bought it last month. Along with every other debt you've accumulated trying to fund Sarah's lifestyle. Want to know something interesting? I smiled. I paid for it with what Phoenix earns in 3 minutes. Sarah's perfect composure finally cracked. But my wedding is a perfect example of financial irresponsibility, I finished. You've spent more than Dad makes in a year on flowers alone. And those flowers. I gestured to the screens. They're from a company I acquired last week. Along with the entire luxury floral industry. Just then, breaking news flashed across every screen. Phoenix Financial completes global banking revolution. So Emma Parker becomes world's youngest trillionaire. Trillionaire. Mom whispered, her social climbing dreams suddenly seeming very small. His mom. That little internet company you mocked? It's worth more than the GDP of most countries. Those computer games Dad laughed at? They're now the backbone of global finance. Michael interrupted again. Ms. Parker, the Space Commerce Division needs your approval for the Lunar Banking Initiative. Space Commerce. Dad croaked. Oh yes, I smiled. Those science fiction dreams you dismissed? We're establishing the first extraterrestrial banking system. NASA's astronauts will be using Phoenix technology to make the first lunar transactions next month. The screens displayed more of my empire. Satellite networks, space stations, and plans for Martian financial centers. My family watched in stunned silence as their practical daughter's vision extended beyond Earth itself. By the way, I added casually, that country club membership you're so proud of? I bought the club. And every other exclusive club in the country. Your social status. I looked at Mom. It now depends entirely on my reputation. Sarah's wedding planner called her phone. She answered on speaker, unthinking. Miss Sarah, I'm so sorry, but the Victorian Gardens had a change in ownership. All existing contracts are being, wait. The planner paused. Oh my God. Miss Parker. I didn't realize, you're Emma Parker's sister. Sarah's phone slipped from her fingers as the planner continued. The owner herself. Your sister is a legend in the industry. She owns every luxury venue worldwide. About those venues, I interjected, making the planner gasp. Cancel all of Sarah's bookings. My sister needs to learn about budgeting and financial responsibility. Yes, Miss Parker. Right away. Mom found her voice. But the wedding will be scaled back significantly, I stated firmly. Consider it your first lesson in financial reality. From now on, every loan, every credit card, every financial move you make will go through my systems. And I'm implementing strict spending limits. The screens displayed their new financial restrictions, modest but reasonable limits that made Sarah's expensive tastes impossible to maintain. You can't do this. Sarah wailed. I'm your sister. Yes, you are. The sister who never supported my dreams. Who mocked my ambitions. Who thought her wedding was more important than my graduation. I stood up, straightening my designer suit. But now you'll learn what real success looks like. Miss Parker, Michael approached one final time. The global markets are waiting for your opening bell command. And the Nobel Committee sent their preliminary notification. Nobel. Dad whispered. Economics, I confirmed. For revolutionizing global finance. The ceremony is next month. The same day as my graduation, actually. Though I suppose you'll miss that too, since you'll be working. Working? Mom's voice trembled. Yes. In entry-level positions at various Phoenix subsidiaries. It's time you all learned the value of real work. I pressed another button and their new employment contracts appeared on the screens. Welcome to Phoenix Financial. Your orientation begins Monday. The morning sun streamed through the windows, illuminating the shocked faces of my family as they realized their practical daughter now controlled not just their bank, but their entire financial future. Now, I concluded, gathering my things, I have a global financial empire to run. Michael will show you to your new offices. They're in the basement where all entry-level employees start. And Sarah. I paused at the door. About your perfect day? Consider it perfectly cancelled. Sometimes the best wedding gift is a lesson in humility.